There we go, John. What's happening, buddy?
Not much, man. How was were you sequestered this week
I was
from
not
the jury
sequestered.
board?
I was not sequestered. Just got out of it though. I'm a free man. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm gonna unload all the details of this case. Let it be. Whoever listens, is this legal, illegal? I have no idea. Have you being an attorney? Have you ever? Could you even do jury duty? Are you allowed to? How's that part work?
You can, but no attorney would let another attorney sit in the jury box, so I would be excluded almost immediately.
Instantly, yeah.
Unless, I mean, there's probably some instance where you'd want an attorney in there, but not even a judge would probably want that. So
No, I can't imagine. So, got to dive into this jury duty experience. A lot of people that, at least that I talked to, have never done jury duty. I kind of found it surprising. I am in my 42 years of life, I have dodged it as well. Obviously not eligible all those 42 years, but I've heard some horror stories, heard some actually pretty much just all horror stories, right? I mean, I don't know how many people have been like, it was awesome, unless you're sitting on some high level case. By the way, you asked me a question earlier, and you had asked it to me when I was kind of texting you through my experience about sequestered and whatnot. How do you sequester people in 2021? Like in 1993, you stick everybody in a hotel room. That's it. You pull the plugs out of the phones. You're good. Right. How does a jury not get outside media and influence and talk and touch people with their phones and stuff? Are they completely cut off? That has to be nuts in a high profile case.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. Yeah, I mean, basically, you got to take your phones. In some of the cases that we followed over our lives, the OJ jury was out for like 6 weeks or longer. 3 months, and they were locked in a Days Inn.
Which is bullshit. They were all talking to each other, hearing stuff on the media. So I got to start from the beginning. Get there. I get there right at the time they tell me to. It's a big rush in the main front room. Of course, I go through security. The thing goes off. They got to come over. I got 2 corkscrews in my bag that they take. By the way, those corkscrews, great start. Those corkscrews have been making it through the airport for about 5 straight years. They've never come out of that bag. So I don't know what the deal is at the airports, if that's okay. So anyway, I'll try to get to the jury part quickly, but I go in there. I just sit in this big room. They don't take attendance. It's nothing like that. You don't scan anything. It's just, hey, you've already gotten stuff to bring. You put your badge on. You sit in a room. They're like, listen, if you get called, we call you in the next couple hours. So I shit you not. I'm sitting there working for a little bit. Got Wi-Fi. I'm thinking, all right, doubt I get into this thing. Let me, what time will I be out of here today? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or how far into the week? The 10 o'clock, she comes out and she goes, okay, we have our first list of names. I shit you not. She goes, first person, Jeffrey. I'm like, fuck. I mean, unbelievable. I was sitting right in the front too at this desk. Jeffrey Roppel. I'm like, son of a bitch. Names like 6 other people. We get, kind of swept it off to this room. Oh, by the way, you had to wear a mask coming in, had to wear a mask in the lobby, had to wear a mask in the courtroom that we were all sitting in, even though everybody was 8-9 feet apart. I mean, they had us spread out really well, and we were in an actual just empty courtroom, with different groups. And they had like 5 or 6 of these rooms on the floor. So there's like 100 people, but everybody was spread out. But yet when they took us out, they took 6 from this room, 6 from this room, 6 from that room. We all get in the hallway, and fucking 8 of us get crammed into an elevator to go up 2 flights of steps. So there goes your mask policy right out the gate of what you're trying to do and cramming us in.
So before you even heard the case, you already broke a law, trying to sneak metal through the metal detectors at Franklin County.
So dangerous.
Wherever you were. And then you're trying to break the mask mandate. Basically, I feel like this jury turned around and just convicted you of whatever case it was. They're like, you just look guilty of something. So I also, as you know, I don't feel like common rules of society apply to me. You're not a rule follower.
No, I just don't think they apply to me. I get around them. I don't like rulies. They drive me nuts. Some stuff's meant to be followed, but a lot of it by breaking those rules or going around them is how you get around more efficiently and effectively than others. So anyway, we go up there, and it was very quick, kind of instruction. Basically, you're going to go in this courtroom, you're going to hear a case,
Yeah.
the rest they'll tell you when you get in there. So right when you go in, there's, two plaintiffs. Everybody stands up. There's two plaintiffs to your left. Now I'm just coming fresh out of like texting you guys and like working. And 2 minutes later, I'm looking at plaintiffs and defendants, like in the drop of a hat. And I'm up in the jury box listening to this judge. I found it to be kind of a quick, very informal process,
Yeah, that's the biggest shock for everyone when they do jury duty. It is very informal. It's nothing like you see on TV, obviously. I mean, you go in there and it's microwave justice.
Yeah.
I mean, they pick the jury and go.
And I don't know how in the world there'd ever be a human being on any case that would not instantly start to predetermine the outcome or their judgment and start to either stereotype's not the right word, but just,
right.
I don't natural biases and make assumptions instantly. As soon as this judge started telling us like a little bit of background about the case we were about to hear and all that stuff, I kind of like had my mind made up of what was happening. You know what I mean? I'm like,
good.
I'll tell you what's happening.
Way to keep it impartial there, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get to about how impartial this thing is.
Yours are like this. They're supposed to be like this. You're like this.
How'd you know that? The defendants and the judge kept doing this stuff about the scales of justice. They kept doing that.
I went to law school.
But you've never been in a courtroom, so I don't know.
Of course I have. Just shut up.
My experience of this happening right now, I have more than you. I think. I don't know that you've been in a courtroom. I'm
a corporate attorney. I don't go in a courtroom.
Anyway, they did this a lot. It's not the defendant's burden. It's the plaintiff's burden to, doing all this stuff. What are we talking about here? The judge comes in. He was kind of a little bit nutty. He's like, first of all, this is completely ridiculous. You do whatever you have to do out there inside my courtroom. You don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. It's like, all right, nice. Like this. Yeah, this guy's on it. Then he proceeds to just instantly dive into some, I have no idea if they're facts or whatnot, things of the case with the Rittenhouse trial that's going on. And starts.
Were you on that jury? I mean, let's get to it. You're on
No.
the Rittenhouse jury. Is this coming out now?
I was not. Don't try to come cancel me. Jesus Christ. So I was, I'm hearing about that. And then he gives another example and goes into great detail about another case where an elderly woman was burned by a hot coffee on her vagina.
No.
Okay. John, he said vagina probably half a dozen times.
Oh my God.
And even went as far as to say, now, if you're on that case or whatever, I think she was 90 years old. He's like, so that might have an opinion that she wouldn't need it. He said this. He goes, but that's not the details of the case. And that's not what you're deciding. I understood what he was doing, but could he find maybe something else to as an example? That's what we had to go with.
Was he stoned or drunk?
John,
was he 90 years old himself?
He was pretty old. As soon as he started saying this, I was like, just looking to my left and right. I'm like, are we allowed to laugh? Is this kind of stand up? Do I get dismissed if I start laughing? Because at this point, I'm already looking for any excuse to get thrown out of this court.
Do a lot to get thrown out from jury.
Yeah. So then you mentioned partial and impartial before. Oh, hold on. By the way, so one of the things that I could not do is focus on anything anyone was saying because of that guy that types. What's he called?
The clerk? Well, the stenographer.
Stenographer. He sits there in every word.
Yeah, stenographer.
Okay. I wanted to just stand up and say, can we get this guy out of here? First of all, Chet, and he's going like this to every person, like looking at him like this, and like a juror would be talking and he'd hunch up like this. Like, okay, I got a couple questions about this guy. One, why is he in a suit and fucking tie? Okay. All the jurors are dressed like complete street rats. You got the other lady clerk or whatever. The lawyers are in suits and stuff. The plaintiffs aren't, the defendants not. Certainly this asswipe just pressing those buttons doesn't need to be in a suit and tie.
Second
thing about it is
maybe he or she has pride in her work.
okay.
And
Well, you
likes, and likes
shouldn't.
to give a good impression. I'm
Okay.
just a supposition there.
To all the stenographers out there, you shouldn't have pride in it because the job is
not everyone needs to dress down or dress casual.
John.
I mean, it's
the
decaying society.
the job is the job is worthless. It's 2021. Why can't we have just a video camera or something? And why does it matter if someone said thank you after a comment? Hey, juror number 42, Jeff Roppel. How are you today? Thank you. We have to put thank you in there. I'm well. And he's sitting there like this. That needs to go on the court record that I said I'm well.
The reason is because it's more time efficient to just read a transcript of testimony than actually have to sit there and, fast forward and rewind like it's a goddamn Blockbuster video.
No, I don't. I disagree because they have things now.
What did the witness say about X? I mean, you don't want to go. Well, I think it was that. Let's rewind here. That way you can just flip to the page and it's right there.
You think flipping through hundreds of pages of text is easier than just going, "There's that witness." His whole testimony is only 20 minutes long. We'll just find it anyway. Who's checking the accuracy of this guy? A couple people in this juror box said diseases that they've had that I've never even heard of. And he was just like, does he know every word in the goddamn, is he the smartest person in the world?
Well, that's the thing. The issue everyone has to keep in mind with the criminal or civil justice system is not perfect. There is no such.
Oh.
Who's checking the accuracy of that? Well, who's checking the accuracy of the person you just want them? Who's checking the accuracy of the first person that's checking the accuracy? I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Well, check the tapes. He could just be writing anything.
We take that, and just like the jury, I mean, it's very informal. Do you have biases? Of course, you're human. You go into the room. The bottom line is, give me a better way of doing it other than sticking 12 or 6 people in a room and having them decide. I mean, quit
getting all defensive about the American justice system because you're an attorney.
I'm an advocate for.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking here. I'm making fun of this guy's career. Okay, give me a minute to do it.
Go ahead.
Here's the other thing I kept thinking about this guy as I watched him. I'm totally distracted. I can barely hear what anybody's saying because all these things are running through my head. And then I thought to myself, like, the insane amount of focus and concentration this guy has to have. This is a bullshit case, very mundane, routine, going through the motions case that everybody has to see every day in a court like this. And he's on every single letter of every word. I mean, I'm thinking me down in that position. Like, hold up. I was thinking about the weekend. I completely missed what you just said. Let's run that back to me. He never missed a thing for the entire time we're there and goes. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Well, he's typing in, or was it a guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's typing in shorthand. He's not like writing like THE the.
Yeah, I know that asshole.
Okay,
yeah, I know.
Making sure you knew that.
Yeah,
he's just taking down a couple. Things here and there.
It's still stupid. And then how many people can even read that thing back? Just him. So they could go read it and say anything they want. The attorney can't read that.
So
what the witness say here?
You got focused on this? I mean, did we ever get to the actual case?
Yeah.
Okay, when?
Well, John, I can't discuss those details with you.
Jesus, okay.
But yes, that's pretty much what I thought about the whole time. So now it's time to you talked about impartial. Now, this was my biggest surprise, other than the fact that how much you're together, meaning there were 2 plaintiffs and there was a defendant, and there were their attorneys, and we had these conversations and we're hearing details of the case. Oh, let's break and take a piss. Next thing you know, we're just standing next to each other in the urinal. Like, it was very strange to me. I mean,
Hey, what'd you think about the case there, Bob?
Yeah. I mean, hey, by the way, or you slip somebody a note when you're in there at a later time, like, hey.
He's a goner.
Yeah. This guy, let him fry, I mean, you can say anything you want. At what level does that stop as the higher profile case you get, right? I mean, do they let a guy on murder, he goes down there, he's still innocent, just go on, take a leak with these people, no big deal, they'll go with you. It's crazy.
Well, not only do you not only is it pretty informal, the verdict has to be unanimous. So you can't get 12 people, or I don't know how many people are on this jury, 6 or 9 or whatever the number is, 8. Okay. I mean, you can't get 8 people to agree on, the color of the grass or color of the sky.
Yeah.
But yet we demand that they come up with a unanimous verdict of guilt or innocence, and they do. I
Yeah.
assume you did, one way or the other. And why is that? Well, because it's not impartial. It's imperfect. It's you're leaning on each other. Come on, just convict the guy. Let's get out.
I gotta get home.
And
yeah,
that goes on all the time. And your conversations are completely confidential. No one can go into that behind the cloak and talk. And that's fine. That's
other than I'm about to share
is.
them all on a podcast. How confidential are they?
That's fine. Tell me all the deliberations, but we don't go behind that curtain and ask. You just come up with the verdict, and that's the end of it. That's the system we came out. I think it's
the other thing I found kind of bizarre too is obviously it's different if you're in a, like I said, a higher profile case or something where somebody's actually incarcerated at the time and being held without bail or something. Well, in this case, they're claiming injury and all these different injuries, moving around the courtroom pretty gingerly and everything. Well, at 8:50 in the morning, as I'm running late, I come around the corner to get in the parking garage downtown at the courthouse. Who's walking up the hill at a pretty good clip? The plaintiff who's claiming all these injuries. And I see him right there. In my mind, I'm like, hey, this is bullshit. Like, come on now, So I'm already like,
right.
I found that to be so crazy.
He was having a good day, Jeff. He was having a good day.
He had some good meds. I don't know. And then so again, trying to paint the picture here for no one that's ever had jury duty. So now I'm in the box. The judge is talking. I got plaintiffs, defendants, lawyers. I'm hearing terms I've never heard, only on TV and movies. Now they start to ask the jurors questions, very personal questions. And I could not believe the information that people were giving up. So when you say impartial, how about you've already picked the fucking random 19 people in the courtroom, let them hear the case and send them to a room to decide. Yeah. How can you possibly think it's fair to wadir my cousin Vinny, all these jurors and ask them questions of information you're trying to dig? For instance, if you are a plaintiff and I'm representing you and you're claiming all these different injuries, a neck injury from a car accident per se, or whiplash, they're going around to every juror. Have you ever been in a car accident? Did it affect you? Did you have rehab? Did you ever get shots in your neck? Okay, well, John Kirtley over there, yep, he's had all these. He'll be super sympathetic to these guys with the neck injuries. Well, what the fuck is that? And then the guy 2 down that answered differently to those questions, like, nah, I've never been in a car accident, never felt that pain. No, they're like, get him out. So that's impartial. I found that very shocking of how much they could question the witnesses.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case, for some of these trial attorneys is if they get the right jury, they know they're going to win. It's a science picking you guys. You guys were like little guinea pigs, and they were just poking and prodding. I
didn't like it.
Yeah, you got played. I mean, depending on how good the attorney was, I don't know. The higher profile the case, the better lawyers, and they bring in jury experts that can do psychological profiles from the courtroom to say
I need one of those,
or you want them on, or it just depends on.
That's what I mean. If he's another lunatic, they want him on because that guy's a lunatic.
They're not just asking you questions as a judge if you're impartial or not. They don't really give a damn. They hope they hope you're not impartial. They hope you're partial to their client.
Exactly. They're only picking people partial to their client.
Right. Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
The plaintiffs want 8 people that had neck injuries.
Right.
That's bottom line.
It's unbelievable. I was very shocked at that. And then I was extremely shocked about the information these people were willing to give up. When it came to me, I, of course, made 2 smart aleck comments, and they both created a good eruption of laughter from both the jurors and everybody there. And I did one of these, like when I was like, this is a good joke. I felt good about it. I was like, all right, I got
Let's hear it.
It was internal. The guy said, he goes, hey, now Mr. Roppel, he goes, I see that you're from Youngstown. And I said, yeah. He goes, oh, my wife's from Youngstown. I'm up there all the time. I said, I'm sorry about that.
That's good. I like it.
And it instantly got the rise,
Good job.
So people are laughing. He's laughing, kind of looks at the other guy. So he keeps asking me questions, whatever. The questions I was responding to about car accidents and injuries were, I was like, oh, fuck, no, whatever, get out of here. And then he ended it with something like, like he asked everybody else, he's like, do you have any doubt that you could be fair and impartial in deciding this jury? And I said, you did say earlier I was from Youngstown. And it got a big laugh again. And I gave one of these to the judge. He didn't think it was funny.
No,
he was the only person in the courtroom, totally stone-faced, looking right at me, and he was not enthused. I'm out of there. I'm out of there.
So they kicked you out?
Yeah, tossed me out. I'm home on day 2.
I love it. First of all, you're not from Youngstown. You're from Canfield. Secondly, that was definitely way too far and easily a ticket out of town. The jokes.
So mission accomplished, huh?
You were the court jester. Yeah, nice job. They definitely. You were a wild card. They didn't want any part of you. You're too unpredictable. So I guess mission accomplished. Pretty good one-liners there. I'll give you that. But yeah, in that setting, that's just too much. Too much levity. Too much joviality from the foreman. Well, so let me ask you this question, because a lot of people can't, the justice system, it's just not something they interact with. Was it a civil case or a criminal case?
I can't discuss that with you, John.
Yes, you can.
I'm just kidding.
It's because you.
It was a civil case.
Okay, civil case.
Like I just said,
for those listening at home, a civil case is when two people, such as me and you, sue. One person sues you, or you sue me, and we're fighting over money. A criminal case is where the state of Ohio or the state of Illinois, you've committed an infraction against society, and you're being prosecuted under the criminal code, and you could face jail time or a fine.
Yeah,
it's a criminal case. A lot of people don't. They think it's all the same thing. I mean,
that's the second time you've explained that on our podcast. Now, back-to-back weeks.
I think it's important that people understand and keep that in mind. When you're on a jury, there's a civil case and there's a criminal case. Criminal case, much more serious. You're dealing with people's personal freedom. It's a
believe me, when you get in there, if your judge is the one I had, he will explain to you what kind of case you're in, and he will explain to you what happened to a lot of vagina and her case from McDonald's and the hot coffee and everything else. So they painted the picture pretty clearly.
So with the attorneys, thinking back to our favorite criminal case of all time, the O.J. Simpson trial, was there a Johnny Cochran level talent on one hand and the poor prosecutor on the other? Or was there one-sided? First of all,
I didn't get thrown out. I was just kidding about that. There was no immediate thrown out. I was not picked for that case, however. So after they deliberated, they're like, he's out of here. But most of the other time I was thinking in the courtroom was like, when they both, especially the defendant, I'm like, I think I could get up there and do just as good a job as everyone. Just I want to say to the defendant, I don't have any schooling in this or not, but just from some movies. And first of all you got to do, it's a sales job. I'm just selling my story to a group of people.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a salesman.
Absolutely.
I can sell anything. What these people were doing, I thought was pretty low level. And the other time I was thinking,
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm just a simple man.
Yeah, the system.
I'm a caveman.
I'm putting the system on trial, my friends. My defendant. Yeah. So, that's the other thing I was thinking too, was I did enjoy it. At least that part of it, because it's another experience. I like having experiences. You brought up the OJ trial. I think it'd be pretty cool at some point. I mean, fuck, I say that now. I don't want to be stuck in a 6-week long big to do case, or I don't know, is stuff like that public too? I would hate to ever be on a very high profile case like this Rittenhouse thing where people are like, oh, you were on the juror and you acquitted them. I'm going to come burn your fucking house down. I mean, that's how crazy of a world we're living in. Is that stuff made public? I don't even know.
No, I mean, it's not, unless you're in the courtroom and the person, or then there are leaks and and some of the jurors do talk, and if one juror talks, then it spoils the whole, so I mean, they do get out, but generally, the media doesn't really give a damn about the jurors. There's some insane the guy was, related to the judge or some shit like that. But for most of the time, there's not a lot of controversy. You're doing a service. I mean, you did a job. You did a job. You didn't get picked. I mean, it's something we all kind of sign up for. I've never been picked, never gotten a notice, so I don't know what my problem is. But yeah, I mean, you're serving the country by doing that. So for the most part, people give you a break, even if even if you send their client to the slammer for 30 years, they're like, okay, well, no hard feelings, but you made a mistake.
I had a lot of people thanking me for my civic duty. That was
civic duty, just like voting.
Yeah,
I mean,
But does everybody understand that that's the last place that I ever wanted to be, and was forced to go there and tried everything I could to get out of it? So you're thanking me for that? It's not. I didn't exactly sign up to join the Marines and go, storming any beaches here. I was forced to go to the goddamn courthouse on a cold Monday morning. Why are people thanking me for my civic duty?
It's like being drafted into the military. I mean, you don't have a choice. So, and they pay did you get paid?
Supposedly,
they give you like $17 a day or some shit.
Yeah,
I mean, if someone's on an hourly wage, I mean, it's a burden for sure.
Oh yeah,
you're trying to find your way out of it. But yeah, there's supposed to be very little wiggle room to get out of it. But if you say stupid things like what you said, I guess there's ways to wiggle off the hook. But yeah, you think about the OJ trial. I mean, everyone knows that OJ was guilty, but has everyone really given the jury a hard time? No, I don't even know who the jurors are. I think
I was going to say that should be our goal. Let's get an OJ juror on the podcast. I don't want to ask you all the personal stuff. I just want to dive into that experience, right? What was that like? Where were we?
So did you get a lecture on like reasonable doubt or preponderance of the evidence, that type of thing?
The what of the evidence?
Preponderance. Okay. Well, anyway, so
I don't know, because all I could fucking think about was this stenographer and how he's just what a senseless job this is. And there's got to be a different, better way to report back what everybody said. And by the way, why do we have to say every single word that is being said?
The glove doesn't fit. You must acquit. Wasn't that a great case? I mean, there is a goddamn river of blood, OJ's blood, DNA from his girlfriend or wife. I can't even remember now. Were they married?
No.
Ex-wife's slitted throat all the way back to his house. And then he got on a plane to Chicago and he had a cut finger, drip blood there. I mean, the bloody glove, the shoes, Kato Kalin heard him come home. Oh my God. I mean, what a case. And then, case. The police though, they didn't, it was the Keystone Cops. Mark Furman's a racist. They didn't know shit from Shinola.
It's just unbelievable.
I mean, the problem is 2 people were brutally murdered. And it's unsolved, technically.
It's not unsolved. It is certainly not unsolved.
What a goddamn zoo that was.
And now he's just spending life at the country club like we talk about, sending videos on his updates on the NFL and, doing his thing.
What is it with, why are people enamored with OJ? Like, what is the deal? He's at the NFL. No, he's in a suite at the Bills game.
Yeah.
And then he was caught trying to hit on a waitress at I think a casino in Vegas or something.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. He tried to kiss her or something. And could you imagine being a nice blonde, white, young woman that OJ's coming after?
She lived to tell about it.
I would say you might want to switch your profile up, OJ. Go after, just pick every opposite that Nicole was and just target those women from here on out. Stay away from young, white, blonde women. Just whatever you do, get the opposite going, because they're going to be freaked out by you.
Well,
yeah. What a case.
It was. Well, I'm glad. Like I said, had you been in the jury room, you probably would have been elected foreman. But I think the jury probably would have turned on you and convicted you.
No,
you're crazy.
No, I would have had. That's another thing I was saying. I would have had complete control over that jury. Would have completely had the room. Manipulated who I needed to early, often. That's why I was thinking, get me in a big case. What's that? It's a stupid movie. It's not stupid, too bad.
12 Angry Men or something.
No, it's Gene Hackman. It wasn't a very good movie, but they one guy, Gene Hackman's the attorney. And that one John Cusack's on the jury, and he's like the one guy that flips it. Give me that. Give me Gene Hackman, John Cusack jury movie.
Gene Hackman.
Not great.
There it is. God, runaway jury.
Runaway jury. That would be me. I would be like, I already said, if I'm in the restroom or anything with one of these attorneys, I saw the guys at lunch across the street. There's only like one place across the street. I went and sat at the bar.
Yeah.
Maybe I slide them a napkin, meet me in the bathroom. I go in there and said, hey, what do you need me to do to switch this? And what do I get paid? I mean, I could swing the whole thing.
There was one case. I was not a lawyer. I was actually a reporter. This was a serious case. This guy,
you were this guy?
No. I was a reporter. No, not a recorder. A reporter.
Is that why you were getting so offended with the stenographer? Is that where you started?
Well, those people were doing yeoman.
Were you a stenographer? Just answer the question.
I was. First of all, I'm an A+ typer, right?
Not me.
Keyboarding, Mrs. Klingensmith.
Failed. F.
All-star.
Got an F in keyboarding.
All
I had to write down was QWERTY row on a page. I would have got a D. I couldn't do it. Got an F.
Okay, so this case, this guy ran over a mom. He was drunk. I mean, it was like the worst drunk driving situation you could have. He ran over some innocent woman, and he went to trial. He's facing like 30 years to life, and the jury, the defense attorney gives his closing argument, the prosecutor gives his, jury goes out for deliberations, and the defense attorney like walks outside and just sits in the hallway, starts reading I walked by him, I'm a reporter, and he's reading a newspaper. I go, Mr. Smith, what do you think about the case? And he goes, honestly, I think it's going to be a tough road for my client. I think he doesn't have a good chance of prevailing. I'm like, wait a minute, you just told the jury that he's innocent. He's the most innocent man in the world. You're sitting out here, you're telling a reporter that he's guilty.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's off the record. I'm just telling you. He was some old, cod had seen his cases, and sure enough, his client went to, he was guilty.
Feed up newspaper, a public defender. What the hell does he care?
Yeah, he was not a public defender, but he should have been, because he wasn't worth a damn, I guess, at the end of the day. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
well, another problem with our system then, the people that can't afford it, they just get, like you said, it wasn't worth a damn. So the biggest piece of shit lawyers are just throw out as public defenders.
Yep. It's imperfect system, but Jeff, I'm just so thankful for your service.
Oh man, I tell you, anything for this country. Anything for this country and the fine justice system that it is. The judge reminded us 100 times it's the finest judicial system in the world. Told us he goes across all over the world and teaches it, and then named like 2 countries I've never heard of. It was like, don't go there. Place is fucked up.
It's the finest judicial system in the world. It's probably like the only one. Every other country has like, it's judge, jury, and executioner all in one. Yeah, it's a great system. It's imperfect. It's frustrating. It has its problems, but
I had an experience.
The Republic still stands because of you.
Supposedly, I'm off for 2 years now. I got a sheet of paper that says I did it. I got on another one. I didn't get out till Wednesday morning is when I got set free. So it was 3 days of some pretty entertaining stuff. A couple jokes cracked that the judge didn't find too funny, and
how many more would
dismissed.
You have told if you got to stay? I mean, you would have been like, doing a stand-up.
John, I'm telling you, all I was thinking was just like how many opportunities could I fit in to like pull off movie lines from any of the great lawyering movies ever.
Wait a minute. Now let's think about the text you sent me when you got picked. You're like, hey, I just got picked for jury duty. Who's ready to convict somebody? You can't handle the truth.
He's going down.
He's going to. I'm throwing someone in jail today.
Yeah.
Like if someone saw this text, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in voir dire. Way to keep it impartial. Someone's going to jail today.
Hey, man. It's just how I think. Get me in there. People need to be put away.
All right. I'm telling all my lawyer friends to get this guy out of there as quick as you can next time you show up.
Hey, or do they need me? Think about it that way. You need me on that wall.
You need me on that wall.
I mean, it could just go on and on. Hey, buddy, Thanksgiving week. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
See you, man.